Problem Solving 101. Problem solving is required for a polymath to emerge. You may be looking for problem-solving strategies first, but what's more important than the strategy is the attitude that you have towards problems. Problems are a feature of nature, not a bug. But often we treat problems like a bug, not a feature. When we get a problem, we may be like, "What the heck? How could this possibly happen?" But it's because it's a feature of reality. A feature means that it's to be expected. If we realize problems are going to always be present, we can replace a mopey attitude with an enthusiastic attitude. Which attitude do you think will make it easier to solve problems? Enthusiasm, of course. Correct. Set enthusiasm as the intention. With an intent, it becomes easier to spot when we're off target. Once our attitude is right, it's off to the strategy. 1. Troubleshoot. 2. Articulate the problem. 3. Create direction. 4. Research, experiment, and solve. And 5. Problem solved, troubleshoot, or contact relevant teams. 1. Troubleshoot. A lot of times we'll want to immediately start fixing things. That may work for small problems, but for complex problems, troubleshooting is a must. This is when you're trying to figure out what is wrong. Either you're asking questions or you're prodding the system to see what's going on and what's not going on. An in-depth troubleshooting session will give you more perspective and familiarity with the issue. Often, a lot of problems are solved at this stage. 2. Articulate the problem. The next thing is to articulate the problem. There are a few reasons you want to articulate the problem. 1. Most of problem solving comes down to communication skills. It's mainly a series of engineers talking and clicking buttons. 2. You gain clarity of the issue. 3. If the problem is complex, articulating the problem allows everyone to be on the same page. 4. It's easier to debrief other teams who are contacted to help solve the problem. Articulating the problem can only happen when we have troubleshooted and have a general to specific understanding of what's going on. Example 1. The internet is not working. 2. The internet was not working since 3 p.m. 3. We had a server reboot at 3 p.m., and I believe that's one of the reasons that the internet is not working. Steps 1 to 3 is getting more and more specific. 3. Create direction. Direction is 1. Where you are, and 2. Where you need to go. Example 1. The internet is not working, and 2. The internet should be working. The direction can be super simple, by the way. You don't need to write a thesis paper on it. If it's so simple, why even bother with it? Because you have direction. It's like getting in a car and knowing where you're going to eat versus driving around aimlessly. 4. Research, experiment, and solve. This is the stage where we're going to experiment. If this is a technical problem, you'll often see that there's already a solution for it on Google, especially with code. If you're debugging code and keep running into an issue, then research the internet. You'll see an almost identical problem and solution has been presented. Similar with cooking. Say you get dry beef anytime you're cooking beef stew. Research to see if others had similar problems. Chances are you'll see that there have been tons of people who've had the same issue. By the way, the fix is to leave the meat in the pot until the water disappears. A dash of vinegar helps soften up the meat too. As you can tell, this was a problem I experienced firsthand. The more creative the problem, the more you need to experiment. A clean-cut response may not always be available on the internet for creative problems. Let's say you're unable to create the ending of your fiction book. There's no Google article with the ending of your book solved for you. Others can inspire you, sure. But in this case, you need to experiment by writing more. Maybe create multiple endings and see which one you vibe with the most. 5. Problem solved, troubleshoot, or contact relevant teams. At this point, for a lot of people, the problem will be solved. For others, the problem's not solved. You need to go back to the beginning and start troubleshooting some more. And for others, you don't need to be solving the problem. Instead, you need to contact the relevant teams to get the problem solved. This is why you wanted to have the problem articulated beforehand. A dummy gets pissed when they have a problem. A smart person gets pissed when they have a problem. Then they realize problems are a feature of reality, and there's no running away. That's when they shift their attitude towards enthusiasm and solve the problem to sharpen their problem-solving skills. Learn to spot problems. Learn to solve problems. Learn to monetize the problems that you solved.